Thank you for making time to attend this show. And in next 25 or 30 minutes, we will try and cover how can you take your sensor data or any small local data to the cloud. And before we move to the actual presentations, I wanted to show you a quick demo. Just think, you can close your eyes and think you have a sensor or a push button. You want to connect to a phone, and eventually you want to put the data into the cloud, and then back access to the phone, and then back feed to the sensors. How can you actually do that? How long will it take? What component you will need? What technical support you might need? And actual infrastructure. Without that support, you will not get anywhere. I wanted to show you a quick demo. All right. So what I have here is, imagine this product is called tennis ball. And it will be available as tennis ball because it's the size of a PCB fits inside a tennis ball, has got 5 sensors on it: acceleration, pressure, temperature, humidity, and light sensor. You can toss it up, and it will measure the acceleration curve values. I can mask it, and you can see the light sensors goes to 3% there. And I can tilt, and you will see the X, Y, and Z value goes that way. I can take millions of samples from all of these sensors. Accelerometer can take maybe 1,600 samples per second. Now, this is local. It's talking via that radio to a mobile phone. You don't want to do that. You are here to take this data into the cloud. How do you do that? And how many of you actually have, these are rhetorical questions. You don't have to answer. I just ask myself so that I prepare what's coming next slide. So, my name is Gopi, and I am with Worth for nearly 9 years. This is my last presentations in UK, because hopefully from March next year, I'm going to climb one of the small mountains. It's called Himalayas. And after that, I will try and cover US, Canada, Mexico, and Brazil, hopefully. So the business over here is good. The computer crashed. And you said, take the plug out and put it back again. No rush. I don't have many slides, only like 65 slides to cover in 40 minutes. So really fast, we can do that one. All right, so exit that and press F5. Hopefully it will be there. If not, then you can see me, and we will still build a picture in our brain. Anyway, so the topic is LTE, or IoT, Internet of Things, using LTE and narrowband IoT. Equivalent name is low power or wideband, those kind of things, wide area network and stuff. We will see. Before we even go even deeper inside the agenda, how many of you come across this kind of magical lamp, Aladdin's lamp? You believe it? Raise your hand, that those who believes that if you rub a lamp, genie comes out and he grants you 3 wishes. How many of you believe that? Not a single one. Oh, 1. 2. Only 2 people believes that if you rub a genie, rub the lamp, and a genie comes out and grants 3 wishes. This is my personal experience. As a 15-year-old boy, teacher asked me to pretend that I'm a Aladdin, and they gave me old kettle, started rubbing. The friend supposed to light up a fire didn't come out. I kept on rubbing. But because teacher told me, so I remember that. And I applied that into the life. So most of you probably know that when we were studying, we did not have a computer, let alone mobile phone, no IoT, no Bluetooth. So how did I get this far? I can program in probably 7 to 10 languages. And I have few partners sitting in this room. They will prove it that, hey, this is all done. There's a name behind it. It's called Gopi Patel. Apps. So a lot of things are happening. All happens because you are rubbing it. You rub your knowledge. You train it until things comes out of it. And I'm also an investor in the property. So I buy old houses in UK at a cheaper price. I polish it, paint it, wallpapers, and sell it. Now tell me the genie doesn't come out. Yeah, it's a lot of money, a lot of happiness, and I pass it to my kids now. They have a portfolio. And you can do the exactly same, but I want you to do it using either wireless module or sensors. So we all make money out of it, and my company keeps me in a job. And the second picture here is, we'll talk about it later on. All right, so there are many ways you can take your data to the cloud, and the easiest way, the most popular way is NFC. People pay using their smart card or contactless payments. That's the easiest, cheapest example of Internet of Things. Some more names across it. By the way, if you don't understand anything, don't bother asking questions. We don't have time. But come to the stand. Our stand is 39, and our company name is iotcreators.com. He's laughing at that side. Because I'm going to pass on all the questions to those people who are responsible for this show. We are only a manufacturer. Worth Electronic is an integrator, so we manufacture, we partner with big brands, and what's chucked inside this module is actually, you will not see the picture here. Because this picture is taken almost a year ago, and this module was launched about 4 months ago. Okay, perfect. Let's now move on. Now, I would like to take the data to the cloud. There are many ways to do. Olden days, back in the 80s and 90s, I used to buy the mobile phone from a company called Woolworth for £10, rip it apart, modify a few bits and pieces. Those who remembers the press and hold button to speed dial, I modified that press and hold using 3 relays. So first button is the husband, second button is the wife, third button is me. And I used to pack it in a small box, and I sold thousands of them to UK market. It's called car alarm that rings a mobile phone. I made a lot of money out of it. Now, if I want to do that, I don't need a mobile phone to buy. I don't need to rip anything apart. I just use this module to do that one. And olden days, I used to have a 2G phone. Now I can't use a 2G SIM card because it's been phasing out on almost every single country. So you need to move on and prepare your product for the next level up. Here we go. We now talk about, ignore the 2G and 3G because they are phasing out. And those alarms that I used to sell it, every time somebody opens a box, why it doesn't work, it rings me because the third box, it's a light sensor inside. Why did you open a box? It rings me. Then I call the guy. I say, hey, stop it because the speaker and microphone still works there. It's that intelligent. Nowadays, everything happens here. Is that right, yeah? He says yes, but he can't because these are IoT devices. So you can't transfer videos and streaming audios and stuff, just the digital data every now and then. Okay. So read the differences between them. The key difference for me is LTE. We are not talking LTE here, by the way. We only talk LTE category M. Category M is like a machine-to-machine communication. Small data, every now and then, occasionally, to the cloud, job done. You're not streaming it, not constantly bonding it. There is no pipeline, no motorway, occasional data. So it costs less. Maybe he will talk about the cost. There are companies who can provide you SIM package. You only pay once and then use the data for over a year, 2 years' time. Or sometimes you have a monthly, or sometimes you got pay as you go. Data runs out, you can't send any more messages there. So LTE Cat-M is the intention for us to put our data into, but the countries are not ready yet. Like UK, I don't have access to LTE Cat-M, but they are gearing up. So does many other countries, many other places. But if there is not enough signal for LTE Cat-M, then it will automatically fall back to narrowband IoT. And NB-IoT is, some people call it LPWAN, yeah? Low power wide area network. And they all uses 4G or equivalent frequency bands. Now, this is a wish list, by the way. Yeah? Christmas is coming, and start wishing that you have a module. First of all, you want to secure. Nobody wants a data to go into air, which is anyone can, a rickshaw driver can sniff it. Not possible. So that's one thing. Second, you want built-in location. If you want to track something, some idea about locations you wanted, plenty of GPIOs, at least 2 or 3. Then you got PWMs, loads of RAMs, nice evaluation kits, and so on. So hopefully you will get something like this massive box, and what's inside you don't even know. You also have some more wish list, like extremely low sleep current because you want to operate from a battery like I do here. This is my Bluetooth. Or the 2.4 gigahertz mesh, and I can operate this from a battery. If I send a signal, ping once, then go to sleep, then ping, like a room temperature or occupancy in this room, this battery will last, guess how long? 2, 3, 4 years. This is a much bigger battery. If you get from IKEA, it will last 2 years. This is CR2450. You're right. You deserve a gummy bear from the stand, by the way. Yeah. Okay, so you can imagine that. But I was told from the Sony guys. Should I say the word Sony? I can. So, because the module inside is inside this module, there is a Sony chipset. And can I also mention the part number? ALT1250. So if you want to learn, program it, open the old kettle or things, and you want to rub it, so this is what you want to rub. Take the kettle out, start from scratch like I do. 6 months ago, I had no idea about how these people work. Now, I like to dive deeper inside, and there are, Sony is here, and there is a SIM card company, IoT Creators here. Please, join. Shall I start again? Okay, you missed, I think, one slide, by the way. Ignore the slide number at the bottom. But anyway, so then what else do you also want? You want the free samples. You also want global availability, not just in UK or in Germany, but you want the product and support available across the world. And you just don't want the product now, and then next month when you want to produce 5,000 pieces, the company disappeared. You can't do that one. So you want to have a long-term partnership there. So companies like T-Mobile's, IoT SIM card, Sony, these are the people you want to talk. And the Worth is nearly 80 years old company. We are 90,000 people, and the turnover is around 1,200 euro per second currently. It's a small company. We are 60 people in UK, and we have offices in 51 countries. So we are not going to run away. I might leave the country, but I will join somebody else's country. So you can always contact us back and forward. And if you don't find me, then there are 2 people in this room. Talk to them. Okay. So now I introduce the actual product. You know, how can you take this idea, the device, rather than just from this to a mobile phone or from a smartwatch to the payment cards? You want to take the data to the cloud. And let's call the product Adrestia, by the way. Yeah? Anybody knows what does Adrestia means? Don't say loudly. Nobody knows. Good. And I will connect that name, Adrestia, with today's event. You can read, by the way, when I drink water. Okay, enough key features. I just wanted to highlight 2 things. LTE Cat-M, main feature, and fallback is narrowband IoT. The difference is you already know. The LTE is a much faster, wider availability, more uplink and more downlink capabilities. But narrowband IoT, a little bit less, shorter range. Maybe it will take lagging time. So if you press the button now, the shutter opening might take 15 seconds. Is that okay? Fine. Then you use this kind of network there. But it's getting better. 15 seconds is an exaggerated number, but sometimes you want an instant within 10 millisecond result. So narrowband IoT may not provide you, but LTE might provide you. But he might argue that, hey, you know, we can do that one in 10 milliseconds. It's just hypothetical numbers. Then built-in GPS and GLONASS. It's called GNSS, but there are only 2 constellations available. GPS, which is American-owned, GLONASS, which country, guys? Russians. And Russians currently are threatening that they will stop the satellite system. So what you happen when you drive your car and suddenly no satellites, it doesn't know where to go. Doesn't matter. It will fall back to GPS. So when you go, with the next version probably might have it, if the Sony allows us to do, we'll have a Galileo, the European version. I'm not sure whether it's coming. I'm just making it up, by the way. And then there might be the Zenith, the Far Eastern version. Yeah, possible. Everything possible. Then this is the massive wish list, guys. In this radio module, you may wonder that, hey, Gopi, this is really good to have it, but what if the microcontroller don't have? Did you signal 10 minutes left? No. Okay. So This has got a built-in 1 MB flash. Well, lots of memory, but we reserved all of it for ourselves, us, the SIM card and the Sony partnership, for the security stuff, for you guys to not to worry about it. But we give you 1 MB flash. It's a Cortex M4 processor inside, and 256 KB RAM. Now that should be enough for you to do whatever you want to do. And it has got SPI, I2C, quite a few UART, few GPIOs, singing, dancing. Everything happens there. Okay, and it's much smaller size compared to quite a few other. Okay. So this is a kit, and literally when you might get this massively big box. Just ignore it. It's inside. You'll only see like this one, a kit on the side, and a power supply and a USB cable. And I personally, if I know a person, I would like to give it free of charge, but company will then kill me out because we all wear a suit, we drive expensive cars, and we fly business class. So companies say, Gopi, you can't just give away this free. We need to make money out of it. But we can't sell these millions of pieces. Intention is to sell the actual product and the sensors. But we can do it if we talk genuinely, certainly. There are 2 antennas there. And let's look at actually what's inside the kit and what you need to think about it when you receive your package. First is a giant PCB. Ignore my Photoshop. The light didn't work at that time. But you got a Adrestia module and a Adrestia module right in the middle. You may wonder about all the other chips. Can somebody guess what other chips are? You don't have to answer. 1, 2, and 3 chips are level shifter. Hey, camera woman. Yeah. 3 level shifter, because all the GPS in the world, 98% works at 1.8 volt. And your Arduino, your PIC and STM32 works at 3.3 or 5 volt. So there is a level shifter. All of those black chips are level shifter. Then you got few buttons, 5 volt to 3.3 or 1.8 power supply, and power adapter and a USB cable. Job done. It's as simple as that. You don't need to use it. You can have it simple as my tennis ball. Second, you will need one of the antenna, which is LTE dipole antenna. Anybody knows what is the frequency for LTE? Come on, guys. You are here for something. What's the frequency for? Something like that in megahertz or a gigahertz. Now, we need to know, by the way, because when we leave this room, if my wife asks me, Gopi, what's the frequency for narrowband IoT, I need to know. Then we have another antenna. By the way, the size is different, but it's the Photoshop. You can see one is taller, one is shorter, and one's got 3 rings on it. So the 3 rings antenna is for LTE or narrowband IoT. The one without antenna or the shorter one is for the GPS and GLONASS. You don't have to use the longer one. You can use a paper clip as long as it is FCC certified paper clip. Then skip this. Okay, main components, we'll look at that. We already talked about it, Gopi, SMA connectors. And currently it's a USB micro. I think, is it that boring, guys? Somebody walked away. No. Okay, so here is a USB micro. Maybe the next version will come as a USB-C because from 2024 onwards, they are stopping USB micro. All the products should go to USB-C. And this is why my tennis ball also have USB-C, by the way. I'm prepared. It's a future-proof. Okay, let's move on. Now, you then ask a question, where do I connect and what do I gain out of it? So you can download a free computer interface called Adrestia Commander. And in that, the moment you plug here, just a USB to computer, it will detect as a card or as the module itself, and you have the serial number. SIM card, if it's connected, it will say ready or not. Depends on what you configure that one. I have put that one as an NB-IoT. It's there, and then you start AT command. So it's a built-in, ready to use. You just send few AT commands. Here is a command to send and register to NB-IoT. You can make as a small call loop if you want in your PIC or Arduino. And it is simple as that. Now the question is, how do I then, hey, hold on, before we go. I want to show you the Adrestia Commander. Also, when you click on the GNSS, you can configure, you can see how many satellites available. I think there's a picture. You can see the real time, the actual time sync, and you can see longitude, latitude, altitude, and the speed. Now that's incredible to get it everything out of this boy. There we go. One more thing we also give on a commander is the data usage, because you don't want to burn out your SIM card. So like our partner IoT Creators SIM card, which I'm currently actually using it inside, they have the package for, to me it's free. Probably if you ask him nicely, he will also give you free. Maybe he can also tell you, but I want to tell you that the SIM card I use has 120 packets per day allowances, and each packet can carry up to 200 bytes of payload, give or take some overheads and stuff. So if I'm sending my room occupancy 120 times a day, should be enough. Agree? Do you want to track your wife, where is she going on, and so on? It's fine, everything doable. Just tell her that this is a gadget, I need to test the battery life. And she think, oh, my husband's testing battery life. You can track it for years and years. But there we go. So you can work it out backward. There is another one is, what else we can do? The COM port. You will find when you drop down, you will see 4 COM ports. Only select the lowest available one, because the lowest available is that we provide you ready to use firmware. The other 3 are for diving deeper. The Sony will tell you what to do with them. Okay, here is a GPS constellation. Don't try to read too detailed because it's my home address. And I could overlap Google, but then you will see exactly where I live, you know. Okay, so then now the question, real question is, why do we need to buy from Worth, and why can't I buy from anybody from u-blox here? No, this is why I need to be really careful, because they are the competitor. So like u-blox, the Laird, the Telit, these are all our competitors. And we want to play the best guy in the world. So what we did is, don't tell them. So if you buy some of those modules, I'm not saying they don't have it, but possibly you need to get the GCF certificate for like a roaming and a mobile phone, then CE and RED, then it will take time and lots of money. We are talking hundreds of thousands of pounds. What Worth did, all inclusive inside. Pack it up inside the module. And this is our USP. You buy ready-made module, literally that module, plug it to your micro, or ask Sony, they give you, I think, 16-digit code. You type it, you have SDK, and you use this as a system on chip. Super easy. Now, where can I use this product? So IoT Creators might tell you that it can be used in Europe or a little bit outside Europe. And what's available, LTE-M or NB-IoT. So you have to be really careful where you actually propose your customer base. If you tell the customer that my product is LTE ready, but if there's no network of LTE, for example, in India, then forget it. You're not going to get anything out of it. Now this is Europe. Call it a roaming partner, and this is non-Europe. So in UK, for example, is a Vodafone, and quite a few other companies are coming out. Now what can you do? Maybe, do you want to say a word while we have a partner?
I mean, I'm really enjoying your talk.
But feel free. So I'm giving you, this stage costs a lot of money, by the way, and I give you 2 minutes out of my time.
Okay.
There's microphone.
This is our webpage, right? So hi guys, my name is Afzal, founder of IoT Creators. And IoT Creators is not a separate company, but it's a second brand of Deutsche Telekom, aka T-Mobile. And yeah, what we try to do is what our colleagues are not doing. Yeah, so if you are developing a new narrowband IoT or LTM solution, they usually ask you to commit to 500 devices or 1,000 devices and pay a one-off, and only then you get access to the network. So we have a system, an e-commerce system, which allows you to start with one for free and grow at your own pace. But what we also do in addition is whenever you need help with connecting your device for the first time, taking decisions like, do you need EDRX or deep sleep mode to reduce your battery consumption, how to get the best signal strength, yeah, if you have a parking sensor or maybe a water level meter, then we also help you with the configuration and taking those decisions. So that's what we do with IoT creators, and privileged to be the supplier or the partner of Würth Electronic for the connectivity and cloud, because we also want to make it easier to get your device data by not only giving you the IP packets, but also the payloads. Yeah, super happy to do that with Würth Electronic.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And it's we are delighted. We are happy to be your partner. Especially otherwise, nobody holds. We are small people. We only 90,000 in the world, and when we launch our product to the market, I mean, hey, you guys are too small, and nobody wants to give us a chance. But look at the Sony. It's here. Nordic Semis are one of the big partner. ST Micros are also one of the good partner. And SIM card, especially with Deutsche Telekom, yeah. So it's a good collaborations, and I really hope that we want to grow one day, and maybe we have a seminar whole day long. You bring your laptop, we give you the kits, program it, and go home, happy ending.
May I ask right away, when you say UDP with you guys up there, is it COAP?
Sorry?
You say UDP this year, is it COAP? Because the other ones was MQTT.
Well, we basically have, so we have cloud server with different adapters. So because some customers, they want to, thank you. Some customers, for example, I have one solution provider developing solutions for several water authorities in the Netherlands. And then there is one end customer, one authority of Amsterdam, who says, I don't care how you develop my solution. So the engineer decided to do it with UDP. Yeah, but then there is another water authority in The Hague who wanted to have COAP.
Some proprietary or UDP.
Sorry?
It's okay, I ask you.
Don't, guys, it's costing me money.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Time, come on.
Yeah, visit
need
us
to move on.
at the Congress.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, and I think I have a slide for your MQTT and UDP. I personally wanted to give you a demo of that UDP and MQTT, and let's go to the next slide. So now talking a little bit away from all the hard bits, we now go to the softer bit. So SIM card is already partially, it's in between liquid and soft, but these are all the soft people, AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud and ThingsBoards and so on. And Alibaba is another cloud. And I paid £1 to every single person to become a client, and I have a dodgy account, for example, Gopi at yahoo.com. And they think that I'm a big client for them. I'm not. I'm just other stuff. But anyway, so now this is IoT Creators dashboard. And on that, you can create your own project. And on that, I created NB-IoT UDP. Why UDP? Because UDP stands for User Datagram Protocol, something like that. So UDP it's a kind of a packet where you send the data, and if somebody is there, they will listen. If nobody's there, packet might don't know what to do with it. Something like that. So that's a UDP. But if you talk to Abzil and then say, hey, packet comes here, and it says the payload, and the date October 24th, which is yesterday I tried, and here is a payload. If you click that button, it will give you an ASCII equivalent. So it's like hello world or hello from Hardware Pioneer, something like that message goes there. You then wanted to send the data to MQTT. So I would have tried Abzul's MQTT on IoT Creators, but I thought I wanted to give you a little bit different demo. You said 5 minutes? Okay. So the demo for this, it's really simple. We can come down there and discuss, or we can meet after that video conference. So easy. Plug it on. Go to aws.amazon.com. That's the site. And then on that, you create AWS IoT, or you name it, blah, blah, blah. And then you create MQTT. So what's the difference between UDP and MQTT? MQTT is a subscriber and a publisher network. So if I publish my advertising packet, and if only 3 people interested in subscribing, then only those people will receive my data. The rest will not receive it. Like a teacher advertises something, whether it belongs to the professor, the lecturer, the peons, the cleaners, all the student. So whoever publish and whoever subscribe, it's a subscribe and publish mechanism compared to the one way. And how to create an Altair development account, I actually had a separate 68 pages on it, but we don't have the time to do it. So talk to Altair, which is now the Sony. Talk to the Sony people. They are sitting in the room, or I think, do you have a stand here, booth? No. Then you can come to us or just contact Sony directly. As long as you use one of the genuine stuff, I don't think we have objections to get a collaboration. You get them a link. and you open their SDK directly, start programming as a system on chip. You don't need to, but if you want to dive deeper there. Then here is an application, what do you use it? I will not go deeper because we all know what we are actually doing it ourselves. But here is my version of application, idea. Here is a board. It has got built-in GPS and GLONASS. You can put few buttons there because there are some GPIOs. I wouldn't mention how many because otherwise you will kill me. But there are few GPIOs, a few more GPIOs and a PWM, maybe, hopefully. This is my favorite. Sensors you can connect via I2C or SPI. And SPI opens a lot more channels. You can then have whatever you want in the world. I also like to connect at some point this product with my tennis ball. So you can have a tennis ball talking to local. Remember, this one can also become mesh. So this can talk to the room next to each other. Each can talk to the mobile phone, my phone, but one of them will talk to this guy, kind of a gateway and data to the cloud. It's a really nice business case. I am working on it personally, and hopefully both Sony and IoT creators will help us out, and we deliver the complete solution to you guys, and you don't have to do too much of the hard working. And then you take the data to the cloud, and as we said at the beginning, the whole idea is to take any of the button data to the cloud, check it on the phone, and then feed it back here, and then control it. It's really nice. Sound simple. It will be simple, give or take another maybe 3 to 4 months time. Now, what does it look like? So I already told you this is tennis ball, and this is a golf ball. Why golf? Because golf is an expensive game that we wanted to play. So it has got an expensive Adrestia module in the middle, and you can see GPS, mesh, cloud, cellular sensors, coin cells, and this is exactly what it is. You've got radio on the top and things on the side, USB-C as a connector, few LEDs there. Currently on this board, there is no LED indicator, whether it's connected, died, crashed, nothing. But here we will have some LEDs. So actually it blinks, ping, 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 where the message coming, it's blocked or something like that. And self-rebooting mechanism, also I want to do that. I also put some digital LEDs, so one GPIO will control a lot more LEDs. And my friend from Sony said, Gopi, crap, this battery will not work. So I have to go back to drawing board and start again. Do you know why? Because Bluetooth works like 20 milliamp peak current, this battery can support. This one, Adrestia, especially for the GNSS part and the LTE part, what's the peak current? 100 amp? No. Well, yeah, very small, around 40, 50 milliamp. So some battery may not support that current. So it will work. Come on, it's a 1.8 volts. So step down. Here is a DC-DC converter, stepping down from 3.3 or 5 to 1.8. But just in case if it don't work, and I take advices seriously. So I'm going to upgrade the battery slightly bigger, or maybe double stack. Okay. And I ask, do you know Adrestia? What does Adrestia mean? There was not a single person had a clue of what Adrestia is, but the next slide will actually tell you what is it. You know what is this? Today is Eclipse, by the way. Today is also Diwali. It's my new year. I normally would have taken day off, but because of eclipse, and we believe in a lunar calendar, not the Gregorian calendar, so date doesn't mean anything, we mean on the moon. So no moon is my Diwali, and a new moon is the new year. But because today is an eclipse, so the calendar got confused, and he said, hey, there is a void day. Nothing happens today. It's like between 31st of December and the 1st of January, there is a void day. How nice is that to have it? That's why I'm here. Otherwise, I would have taken day off and celebrated New Year with my parents somewhere. So bingo. So this is eclipse, and eclipse happens because of our moon. Our moon, eclipse, and here is an Adrestia, is a moon of a Jupiter. All these names that you come from Earth is a moons of outer planet. Perfect, yeah? Guys, thank you so much for your attention. All I can say is no more questions, and see you at the stand. Thank you.